Three silly faces.
Here we go. I don't know how much I can keep a straight face for this interview with who I'm talking with right now, but I would love to just introduce you to some really amazing friends of mine that I'm so honored that have joined me in this amazing business too. I've known Briiann since we were kids, really. We've known each other for half our age, I guess, I'd have to say. And she married an amazing man from England, actually, and they met in Australia. So their story is so amazing to me, and I keep using the word amazing because they truly are what amazing brings. But I'd like them to tell their story for you. They are our recent award winners for the Belief Award in our team, and you'll see very quickly why they were chosen for October 2014. And, you know, they come with them a lot of different experience, and that's what I just love about this business. We are attracting people from all walks of life, everybody with different backgrounds, and it's kind of cool when you think about it. Somebody said to me today, the neat thing about this business is we get to work with our greatest friends who are willing and wanting what we have, and we also get to work with all different professionals. And it's not often that you choose a profession that you actually get to learn and experience all different levels of growth and backgrounds. So the great thing about this couple is they come with them tons of gosh, here I am, I should have some brain support, expert knowledge on many different things, and I'm going to let them tell you that. But for now, guys, welcome, Briiann and Chris. Thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're very busy parents, and your kids are there with you, and mine are upstairs with my husband, so thank you for taking the time today to interview with me.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure.
Yes, and thank you for interviewing us. I know it's been hard to fit us in, and our kids are running around in the background too, so you'll probably hear them coming back and forth. But that's the beauty of this, right? We can do it realistically, like in real time with our kids. That's how we fit it in. I mean, we wouldn't be able to grow this business without being able to do that, right?
Absolutely. You guys are right on that. And you'll probably hear in my upstairs, because I'm downstairs in the basement, sometimes it sounds like elephants are coming through, and that's just my kids having lots of fun. So it's all about doing it in the pockets with our kids. They don't have to be in daycare for this business to work. It really works. And you guys are busy parents, not just busy as parents, but you have careers that are taking a lot of your time. And can you just tell me a little bit about your journey before Isagenix came into your life, guys? Because I know it has a lot of depth to it, but can you just tell me a little bit about your background to share with our viewers today?
You go first.
Well, I guess Chris and I, prior to Isagenix, we had traveled and lived in Australia for 6 years, and so I had studied as a veterinarian down there, and I graduated with a lot of student debt. And at the time, we were living in a farmhouse, which we thought would be our kind of dream home, and we had a lot of expenses. And that was actually when you first introduced Isagenix to me, Tara. And yeah, I absolutely love the product, but couldn't get my head wrapped around how to afford it on top of student loan payments, plus the house. And we were renovating the house at the time, and I actually wasn't aware of the business side. Sorry, our dog's getting it. Yeah, so I mean, at the time, we just couldn't get our head wrapped around how we were going to afford it, and we weren't interested in the business. We liked the product, and we did use it for quite a few months.
Yeah, and the snooty Englishman said it was a pyramid scheme to get involved as well. So that was always. That's always the nail in the coffin in the very early stages. So yeah, so that wasn't too helpful on my part. Well, I've come around.
That's right, and you know what? There's hope for every single one of us. Most of us start in that place of skepticism, so there's, that's not unusual. But yeah, can you just continue on? I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess Chris was upset about the fact that I was spending extra money a month on a product, and I know you had asked me to take a look or get on a call, and at the time he was working long hours. He would chef till 11 o'clock at night. He was the head chef, And I was on mat leave, so I was taking care of the baby in the night, and he was quite fussy, actually. Kai was a fussy baby. Witching hour went from 4 till 10:30, so it was hard to get on a call without Chris around too. But at that time, I didn't know I could mute myself. That's the beauty of this. We could even if I got part of the call in, that would have helped so much, right? So I was a bit nervous about it and didn't do it, and I was a first-time mom too, so I think there's a lot going on there. But so I actually fell out, and we stopped taking the product because it was looked at as an extra expense in a way, which is unfortunate. But fast track, probably 3 years later, I was keeping an eye on you and what you were doing, and you were telling me what you were doing and how much you were succeeding. And I kept talking to Chris about it. I remember you handing me the Success magazine one night. It was around Christmas time, and you said, Cam can stay home for quite a few weeks, and we're living off of my salary right now with Isagenix. And that really hit me, and I thought, wow, that's incredible. And it didn't faze me for 1 minute. Like, I know you, Tara, and I know how incredible you are and how good you are with people, and you've always had a great business background. But I couldn't picture myself doing that on top of working as a veterinarian full time and being a mom in the evenings. And at that point, I was back at work in a very stressful situation where I really needed the products and really needed this business. And you knew that. So you kept offering things, and you were always there. You were always giving. You were always a very good friend to me. And we are so grateful and so thankful that you didn't give up on us, because sometimes you just can't see it. And it wasn't until, a few years later, we moved into this, we downsized, so we were able to pay off a lot of the student debt and other debts that we had, so that was a great feeling. And I was pregnant again with the second child, and we started, I needed the product. I remembered it, and I really wanted it. So I thought of you, and you had called me and actually asked me to go down to Toronto to an event at work one night. And of course I couldn't do it. It was 6 o'clock, and I was thinking, oh, by the time I get home, it'll be 9 o'clock. And, the thought of being away in the evening and trying to fit that all in. So I said no, but I really wanted the product. So that was when I planned to meet you at the Delaire's. Remember? And I said, I just want the product, I don't want to do the business, and I will pay you retail. And you said, no, just have, here, I'll give you some canisters. I'm like, no, I'm going to pay you retail. But yeah, it was the best thing we could have ever done, was go to the party, because that was when they announced that you had been earning 6 figures in the company. And both Chris and I were like, oh my God, it's only been 3 years and she's been able to earn a 6-figure residual income. Like, that's incredible. And it was only last year, probably, that you were, I think, around 50,000 or something that year before, when you handed me that magazine. And I flipped through it and I dreamt. I looked at all the millionaires and I thought, oh, there's no way though. But I was thinking about it, and I'd ask the question, and then the Brit would go, no, don't even go there. Like, it's not Briiann, stop thinking about that, So, I'll blame it on the Brit, right? But no, that's when we started. So then I asked you, sorry, we've got Ron is speaking to you. I think my first question to you was, how do I do this? I read Business of the 21st Century, you gave that to me, and I went to a meeting with Mike Delaire, but I said, how am I going to do this? Like, I don't know how to sell anything, unless I truly believe in it, and I do love the products, but I just didn't know how I was going to build a network, I guess, and have people trust me, So you said, don't worry, it will come. You said, don't even think about that right now. Just, you and Chris concentrate on putting the food in your mouth and using the program properly for a month and see what happens. And that was when, well, it wasn't too long afterwards, right? You opened your own account.
Yeah.
Because he was eating my products, and my boss at work asked me what I was doing, because I had so much energy. I was pregnant. I was cycling at 5:30 in the morning at spin classes, and I was coming home at 7 o'clock, and I had more energy to put Kai to bed and read him stories, and Chris would be laying on the couch, like he wasn't fully doing the program at that point. He was still kind of lethargic, and so when he did he got into it, started stealing product, and then we opened up his account. But yeah, you noticed a big shift in you too, right?
Definitely, it's huge.
That's awesome. Now, Chris, do you have anything to add? Because I know obviously you come from a totally different background in your nutrition background with your chef. You know, all that you've done. I know that a lot of people watching right now will probably be saying, well, what were his thoughts about something in a package?
So yeah, that was one of my very early skepticisms. Was it's in a package, it's not real food, and that's why I kind of dismissed it quite easily. But coming around and doing some research, and then obviously with seeing the doctors down in Arizona as well, I gradually came around, and I also realizing as well, since I'm an organic food chef as well, I half knew the story about what pesticides are doing to the earth, how the foods become very depleted in nutrients and that. So with those two pieces of knowledge, it kind of it dovetailed quite nicely into my thinking, and that's how I kind of came around with those two pieces of information. It's yeah, now I'm 100% believer and love the products, and it's an easy fit into my lifestyle. Being a self-employed caterer and shop owner, for me, since I'm working with food every day, I don't tend to eat food because I'm working with it. So with a shake, I can grab a shake. It's 2 minutes. I know I've got a full nutritional meal, all done and dusted. And it takes me 2 minutes. So I don't have to stop work. So that's really, really good on that front. So.
That's awesome. Thanks for that feedback, because it really is. It's something that, you know, quite a few people that are health conscious, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for people who are health conscious and people that want to change their lifestyle. And for some people, just seeing it in a container, they think it's not real food. So thanks for addressing that. Now, guys, I know that your business is just really starting to take form in such a huge way, and you may not see it yet because of where you're at. Sometimes when we're in it, we don't really see where it's headed. But because I've been there and I know what I've gone through, I know where you're going. And you're actually, I have to say, you're doing much more than I ever did. You have such a desire to get rid of the excuses. You know, a lot of times people are holding on to the excuses, which don't allow them to move forward in this. But with you, I mean, my goodness, you guys are busy. You're working all the time. I know, Briiann, like with having a toddler at home and one in school and working as a vet, and Chris having a shop and having employees, and I mean, it goes on and on. But one of the biggest excuses that people have is, I don't have the time to do a business like this. What can you share with people? I know you're putting a lot of effort and a lot of time into this business, but one of the major things is, I don't have time to go to an event. My weekends are my time off. Why would I go to an event for, you know, a Saturday once a month? Or why would I host events on a Tuesday and a Thursday evening or whatever? You know, you guys do a lot of events. So can you just give our listeners a bit of reason why and how it is that you are able to do that?
Well, I guess, like, to be honest, in the beginning, I was working 4 days a week, like full time. It was 40 plus hours a week, actually, with commuting, and I had a toddler at home and fully pregnant. So I didn't spend as much time as I do now, but I did commit, because I called you and I said, what do I have to do? And I listened to you, I listened to the other leaders, Mike Dallaire and Robin, you know, Jamie and Kevin Snellgrove, Pam and Kevin, you know, they go to events, and you had said that from the beginning. So we knew that one Saturday a month was something we could commit to, and we would make it work. It didn't matter. Like we wanted, yeah, and we brought our babies along. So I mean, we wanted time freedom. We knew that if we could dedicate 3 to 5 years, we had seen what you had done in 3 years, and we thought, well, maybe that's possible for us. So we knew that it required dedication and some commitment, and of course, you know, we're educated. We understand that there's a certain level of commitment to educate yourself before you can be expected to do this professionally. So I get that. And so to commit 1 day a month to me was absolutely nothing. That's fine. We can do that. As the business has grown, obviously, you become more passionate about helping others as your team grows. You want to help them. You want to get them to events. You want to help them run their launch parties. So you commit more time to working with your team and your people, and it's very hard to say no. We want to help people as best we can and be there to support them. We know that you and others, leaders on this team, have done the same for us, and we know that the only way to help ourselves is to help other people too, right? So, I mean, it's not work. I mean, to us, it makes us feel good. To attend events is a lot about personal growth, right? So we know that that has improved our relationship, our family, our friendships with other people. It's improved our business skills, our entrepreneurial skills. It's improved so much about who we are. You know, I used to get huge levels of anxiety through school and seasonal affective disorder. You know, all those things have kind of cleared up just because it's such a positive culture. So it becomes addictive, and anyone who takes a closer look at this, who has gone to an event, most of the time, probably 98% of people want to go back to that. They want to learn. They want to work on themselves. They realize how important it is to be around positivity. And most people are attracted to that, right? So that's who we're attracting into this business, which makes it fun, and it makes the work part of it not work, right?
Absolutely.
And it's just amazing what we're doing.
The other thing I'd like to add is ask yourself the question, do you want to work hard for 4 years and have a good residual income set up so you can enjoy the rest of your life? Or do you want to make excuses and say, well, I've got a 40-hour week, I've got 2 children, and this is going to be my life for the next 20 years? So that's the other balance, if you look at it that way.
40 years.
So you have children for 20 years, don't you? So then you've got a bit more free time. But anyway, let's say 20 years or 40 years for argument's sake. But so yeah, that's how we view it. Let's just work hard for 4 years. Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, there's going to be some sacrifices. But the end goal in the end is going to be worth it, and that's going to be the prize. So always an eye on the prize. So.
You know, and that leads me to my very last question. And this, well, actually, I might have 2. We'll see how it goes. But you might answer both questions in this next part. But you guys have such a vision. I mean, before this business even came into my life, I knew how much you were both meant for each other because you have big dreams. You continue to live those dreams as much as you possibly can. And sometimes it isn't always easy to live those dreams because we, have debts and things like that. But you, of all people in my life, have been the ones that have shown me what is possible with dreams. So from here now, with Isagenix in your life and your professions in your life as well, and your beautiful family, what do you guys see, maybe we'll say 1 year to 5 years from now, as part of your dreams? Like, has anything changed in that area of dreaming? Are you dreaming bigger? What do you see for your vision?
Well, I'm definitely dreaming bigger. Like before, we always knew we wanted to travel more, like travel probably Europe. That's most of the reason why I studied down in Australia, was it allowed me to work in Australia, New Zealand, and Europe. And now I can work in North America as well with the North American veterinary licensing exam that I had to write. So I had that in mind when I graduated. But I thought we'd be living in a small little camper van with our kids, and we weren't quite sure how we were going to afford it. And my picture in my mind was that I'd be working as we traveled, and I wasn't sure how we were going to do that. But now my vision is still the same. I still have
hotels.
Yeah, no, just bigger, better places, and maybe renting a chalet or something like that, and traveling with good friends like you guys, and being able to do that with other families that have the same opportunity financially to do that kind of thing. So this is what's exciting, is because we're doing this with our best friends. So it's very exciting, because that's kind of, so we have to keep pace. We have to keep up with you guys because we want to go with our friends. But yeah, no, we're definitely dreaming bigger. Bigger and broader. Yeah, for sure. What do you?
Yeah, well, for me, the travel aspect is huge for us because obviously, I've done 10 years of traveling. Lived in a lot of different countries. So that's one thing. I also want to pass on the travel bug to our children, and to go away. When we get there, we can go away all summer long, and we can do whole summer vacations wherever in a different part of the world. While the kids are out. And we're even thinking of maybe taking the kids with us and doing a year, maybe 2 years, 3 years, a jaunt around the world and just homeschooling them because they get more benefit seeing, let's say for an example, the Great Pyramids in their eyesight versus them seeing it in a book. Or we go down to South America. It's endless. It's absolutely endless now. So there's no cap on our dreams or our limits anymore, which is so nice because many people are saving up 1 to 2 years for the 2-week holiday, and that kills it. It kills me. Yeah.
It kills us.
It kills us.
That way. That's probably why our debts were big when we graduated.
Yeah,
but
the North American 2-week holiday a year from working full time is scandalous, just scandalous. So obviously we want more time off
and I think when you travel a lot too, like that was a big personal growth for me, being away and traveling, which I think that helps a lot with the base in this business too. Like, I mean, it is about personal development and connecting with people. And when you're traveling, you have to connect with a lot of different people too, or you usually do, right? And most people are positive when they're traveling, to be honest. So that's helped a lot. And so this is fun to both of us. This has been really, really fun. And I have to say, like, since we've been part of the culture with Isogenics, it does feel like we're traveling again, because the type of people we meet have dreams, and they're open-minded people, and they're fun, and they focus on the positive, and they're loving people, they're caring, they're generous. And I think, I'm not saying all travelers are like that, but there is something beautiful that comes out of you when you're seeing the world and you're traveling, because it's a feeling of freedom.
People are not stressed and they don't feel trapped, which are the two things everyone in a work environment generally feels. And they're stressed with their work, and then they also feel trapped in their work. They can't move because they've got mortgages to pay, they've got all the other stuff. So it's those two things going on, whereas travellers haven't got those two biggest things in their life. They may have no money, but it's at least they have freedom, and that's one of the biggest important things in life is the freedom aspect. And obviously Isogenics gives us freedom, and on top of that is the money to do it. With our health, you can't get a better product. Should I say a whole product package? Should I say? Is a better description. So it's really, really beneficial.
That's awesome. So, you know what, and it does. I had goosebumps through that whole part, because the whole dream thing just makes me so excited for you guys, because when you say that you'd be traveling in a little camper van or whatever, I mean, that would be fun, but you don't have to. And that's the cool thing about this, is that you can really make
Class A Lego.
That's right. Exactly. Now, just to leave everybody with one thing, I know this is a really hard question to ask, because there's probably more than one thing from each of you that you could share, but if you could give our viewers, and some people might be looking at this for the first time, some people might be feeling like they're ready to give up in this business, others may be just getting started. What would you say if you could pick one thing that would give them some advice, or a little bit of just a little nudge in the right direction? Do you have any advice for them?
I'd say one thing is events. Doesn't matter if it's local, regional, or the corporate events. Get yourself to events, or every in-home as well in the area, because you'll learn a lot quicker by events, by sitting down there, speaking with more knowledgeable people, and they'll also give you the energy and the boost that you need.
And the belief. And
the belief. Just, events. That's all I can stress. And the podcasts as well is another good thing. Obviously for the people, maybe if they're in a remote area and it's too far to travel, but again, there really is no excuse for distance. It's a question of getting yourself to the event is the most important thing. Yeah,
and not to give up. It doesn't matter what you choose to do in life. You're always going to have challenges. I felt vet school was very hard, and I kept pushing through, and I felt by the last year I was kind of burnt out, to be honest. But I think everything is challenging, and if it's not challenging, you're not growing. So I think it's really important that when you're feeling challenged, that you keep pushing through that and reach out to your upline and to people that are successful that you can talk to and just explain what your challenges are so they can help you through that, because it's most likely that those people have been through those same challenges and know how to deal with it, or how they might have something that they say to you that resonates with you, that can help you get through it. So I would say don't give up. Attending events, like Chris said, is very key, because you're surrounded by people who are going to support you and help you believe and recharge. But it's really the belief in yourself, right? And you need to build that, and personal development is a huge one. So events, go towards personal development and reading lots of different books and things like that will help you. But plugging in, like as soon as you feel like you feel like giving up, you need to get yourself plugged in right away. Whether it's a call, whether it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a tool, anything. But I think you just need to stay plugged in. I think there's times when we kind of, something happens in our life where we go away on a trip, or we've separated from the business a little bit because we haven't talked to anyone for a while. But as soon as you plug in again, start learning and start getting yourself surrounded by the people that are moving forward and doing this, that's when you get that energy and that belief to keep going forward.
That's awesome, guys. You know what? I really appreciate it. I know how hard it is to do this with your kids right there, but you know what? They've been great, and they want to be in the spotlight too. So are they right there to say goodbye to everybody?
No, they're in the other room, so it's all good.
See, this is what happens, right? When we call for them, they're not there.
It's just normal to be in the screen. They're never around.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for your time today. Your story is going to really impact people today, tomorrow, and even 5 years from now when they watch this for the first time. So I really appreciate your time and your commitment to not only yourselves but to your team and to everyone else outside your team too, because I know you guys are very generous about sharing your resources and time with other people too. So thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you. Thank you for you.
Bye, guys.
Oh, there you go. Here you go. It's Kai.
Let's. There we go. I hope that didn't get disconnected. I don't think it did. Hi, guys.
Don't worry about it. They're just saying bye now. Oh my God, they're crazy. Thank you.
Bye.